Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube, and we'd love for you to join us. You can find us on Twitch and YouTube. Just search at Tom and Dan Live, because podcasts are now TV shows.
Nobody wants.
Yeah, nobody wanted it.
Everybody's like, I was fine listening to your podcast. They're like,
too.
no, now it's a TV show. And
Yeah.
they're like, I have too many TV shows. And
No,
like,
well,
nope,
no, you
too
got
bad.
more. No, you got more.
Yeah, infinite garbage.
Wait till you see what. Wait till you see where they go after TV shows. Do you even know? Have you been looking at the trends? Magazines. We're going to magazines.
Yeah, back to magazines.
Back to magazines.
Right.
Audio, visual, television magazines. That's exactly what we're going to. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We're glad to have you here. Do you have a good weekend? How's your weekend, buddy?
Horrible.
Okay, excellent.
And then I'll explain.
Should we skip the weekend?
No. I'll tell you why it was horrible.
Okay.
All stupid, small-time problems. Some rich guy problems. Like, for instance...
I lost my coin collection.
No, my outside TV broke.
Yes,
and then I wasn't able to watch football.
That can be a poor
in the pool.
person problem, too, though. We've done this before.
Yeah.
That can be
It is
extreme
rich man,
person.
poor man.
Yeah, that is rich man, poor man.
Because now TVs are a couple $100 for a 50-inch. Like...
But all the poor people I know have a TV outside. They all have a TV outside, out of their deck, anywhere, just laying in a pile.
They're just cheap now.
Yeah, they are cheap.
And we like watching TV outside because when we grew up, that was the epitome of stardom.
It was
That's
fancy.
what NFL players did.
Well, you had, everyone has an outdoor bar with a TV, and there was a time when you and I were young men, that's what you got.
Well, you couldn't put your TV outside when it was a giant tube. You know what I'm saying? You had to have to put it in a glass box or something.
They did. They had those big boxes and they'd lock them. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so that started it. And
this has been breaking for a while, and you've been really trying to get your money's worth out. I mean, I'd say for the last 2 seasons, we've been watching a pretty piss-poor TV, buddy.
So I'll go and expand this further, and because I've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah.
And this is all Al Bundy's fault. And I'll explain.
Okay, a fictional character's fault. All right, I'm on board.
Follow me.
Hold on.
This.
It's the only time you've ever addressed something where just by the phrase, I'm like, I'm on board.
Yeah. So when my day was going poorly, TV broke. I've been digging in this mud hole for 2 days straight, fixing.
I don't know what that means.
Irrigation. There was a leak.
You've been fixing your irrigation for 10 years.
Yeah.
Irrigate. I always, you know what? When you tell me you're fixing your irrigation or cleaning your garage, I think you're lying to me.
No, I'll show you the 10-foot trench I dug.
Oh, Crystal was sniping photos of you in your meanest of meanest resting bitch face. There's so many photos of you that you don't know about, of you being angry in your weakest moment, and you're covered in mud and you're mad-faced, and she's like, look at this piece of ass.
Yeah, that's what she does to me.
Yeah.
That's what she does.
It's not fair. Look, I love her so much, and I am on team sensitivity.
No.
I am on team emotion, but... What she is doing to you is very unfair.
Yeah,
it's very unfair.
Well, because
at your
screaming,
weakest moment,
I'm hacking the roots, mud everywhere. I'm like, I have to literally get into a
special suit or something, tiny pants,
tiny bathing suit.
Yeah, maybe
because
she
I'm
likes
covered
that.
in mud.
Maybe
anyway,
she likes that.
And so
it looked like a gay biker event in front of your house.
I fix one section, and then I turn.
But did you really fix it?
I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Are you like me? Are you like me? You just get there, chop it around a little bit.
The primer is all over my hands, burning every cut that I have
Your
on my hands.
Your hands look really rough today. They're very smooth though, like you burned all the fingerprints off of them.
Why not make the primer flesh color?
Can you explain to me what you're doing? Because I don't know what you're talking about. Primer, like paint primer?
No. When you're doing PVC.
Yeah, I don't do PVC. I went to college. I went to UCF. No offense.
I went there too.
No offense, PVC guys, but I went to.
My degree's better than yours. I'm doing it.
I won't debate that. Your degree is better than
mine. We both aren't using nothing.
I have the Frank Gore, which allows me to not do PVC.
Yeah. Apparently.
You have a business degree, dude.
Yeah. Well,
the producer that we interviewed last week from Time Suck.
I could do all this.
Dan Cummins' producer, Logan, same degree as you. He has a business degree. Same degree.
So when you have to put primer, there's a purple primer and then there's a blue glue.
Oh wait, is this the stuff you put on the pipes before you put them in to keep them so they lock?
I don't even know what the hell the primer does. I think a professional does the 2-in-1 anyway.
Is it got the little poof on the thing?
Yeah, a little cotton poof, and then you put it in there.
I love the cotton poof with the wire, and then you poof it around and you poof it inside.
And it's purple everywhere. And then it's a purple all over my hands.
You're not supposed to get it on you. I think it's super toxic.
Yeah, well, it burns crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't have gloves or anything. I never wear gloves.
I know. Yeah. We live in Florida.
No time for gloves.
We live in Florida. Why would we have gloves? It never gets cold.
And by the way, I'm trying to fit this in a 15-minute period where
Are you trying to do this in between dinner?
Well, my mom's coming over with my niece, and Crystal's like, you better, I
got time to irrigate the entire yard.
Yeah.
I got time.
She's like, spend time with your family. Quit going outside and working out in the yard.
Oh, you go to escape? That's where I go to the garage and sit in my Tesla. I sit in my Tesla alone.
Well, but I'm like, all these things have to be done, so I'm like, let me just do them real quick. Anyway,
if you don't know what the red and blue or purple primer does, then why are you pouring
I know what it does.
Okay,
it just I'm trying to, I just do this once every 6 months when something happens. I don't have like the guys that do it all the time. They're efficient with it or whatever. Like there's still water in the mud hole, and they're I'm trying to do it fast. Anyway,
there's not water in my mud hole. It is dry, baby.
I'm losing all my bets, every one of them.
I knew that's what we were.
Cabin Boy's texting me. He's like, "How about those Steelers?" Yeah. I'm like, "F you."
Fields looks good. Fields looks good.
The Dolphins are losing.
Yeah. Fields is bad in Chicago, great in Pitt.
I spent so much time researching, all for nothing. I'm lost all my money. I'm into way too deep with the stupid Steelers.
Yeah, and now
I've lost everything.
Now you got a mud hole.
Mud hole. TV's broke. I'm punching the garbage cans.
She hates it when you slap stuff around.
Oh yeah. She comes out. She's like, "What's that noise?" And then I'm like, I
dropped the trash can on my foot. I fell down the stairs.
No, just punching. She's like, you need to go to a retreat. You're mentally insane. You're telling me I need to go to a retreat.
My wife says I have to go to a retreat.
Back to Al Bundy.
Why do both our wives think that we have to go to some sort of psycho retreat? That's not good. And they're different ones. Like mine's for little gay guys, and yours is for angry football guys.
So this is why it's Al Bundy's fault. Because that was my dad role model growing up. And Al Bundy was never happy. So Crystal tells me...
Oh, so you are trying to make yourself Al Bundy.
I don't know.
Because your dad...
That's the only thing I knew.
So that your dad was... Okay, your dad was, obviously absent, a tragic tale. Your mom is doing everything she can, Mama Van, to keep you and your sister and your brother, healthy. And then you gravitate towards your new dad, your television dad, which is married with children's Al Bundy.
Yeah. I grew up on Al Bundy.
And you, through watching nothing but Married with Children, realized that as you age, you would have to be miserable and punch trash cans.
Well, that's the only thing I do. Well, he was just hand his pants. He watched football. He lived in the past.
He's horny, and his wife,
family.
Wait, he wasn't horny.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, that's the only part I don't understand.
I don't understand that part.
His wife's horny all the time. I'm like, Al Bundy, you got that wrong.
Yeah.
The writers got that totally mixed up.
And then we got it wrong. We remembered it last time we did an Al Bundy fantasy. We got it all wrong.
So, because Crystal's telling me, she's like, you need to find ways. You have no joy in your life. Like everything is like, you're.
My wife says I have too much joy and I need to do some stuff around the house. My wife's like, all you do is joy.
That's a different problem.
Yeah. My wife's like, you're gonna just sit there, enjoy yourself.
And so, but I'm like, well, what, I grew up where the dad was mad all the time.
Yeah.
Al Bundy, Malcolm in the Middle dad, that was later on.
Yeah.
He
got real mad when he started making the drugs. He's really mad then.
But he's just stressed out all the time, like poor, stressed out. And then the generation under me, he grew up Dunphie. Happy, rich.
Oh, the Dunphie Dad? Oh, the Dunphie Dad.
Beautiful family.
Yeah, the Dunphie Dad's the best dad.
Yeah, he...
lovable bumbling.
Yeah.
Lovable. Did you think you were lovable bumbling, I think, for a second?
No, I thought
you danced in that area for a little bit. You were Dunphie. You were very Dunphie for a minute.
No, I mean, I grew up Bundy.
But I know, but I think you could have gone either way. I honestly think that you're younger than me. What are you, about 8 years younger than me? I think you could have Dumphied yourself. You had a fork in the road, and you could have gone Al, or you could have gone Dumphy. And because I think you had the ability to do that because you have the lovable bumbling, but you went grumpy. You went straight,
The
you
thing
went
is,
you went married with Grumpy.
The Dunphie doesn't, and then I look around the real world, and this is what I tell Crystal. She's like, "You have no joy. You're punching the trash cans. You're in a mud hole. You're running too much. You're stressed out about the kids' future. You're losing all your only hobby. You hate because you're losing all your money.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm like, well, I look around. All the other dads, they're mad and, they got the same problems.
Oh, yeah.
No one's, super happy out there, right? Who's living out? Jackal, you go sit down on the couch.
Yeah,
are you happy?
Are you super here? Yeah.
He's not happy.
Sit over here.
He's stressed out, too.
We'll put you over here.
You're a normal dad.
We got another normal
How many
dad
kids
here.
you got, Jackal?
I have 2 kids.
You got 2? Okay, so you got the standard. You got the 2
I've got
kids.
the standard. I have 1 girl, 1 boy.
Okay,
that's
that's a real standard.
If you don't know who Jackal is, he writes songs for our show.
Yes.
Longtime listener.
Yes.
Comedic genius. Very funny guy.
So my point to my wife is that everybody's got it tough, stressful, and believe me, way tougher than I got it. And a lot of people are looking at my life like this guy's living an awesome life.
Yeah,
I'm just
punch a trash can, yell into a microphone.
He's making his own life miserable.
Yeah.
But I'm like, everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's got a bunch of house projects backing up.
Yes.
They got their kids. They're on screen
If you
too
never
much.
start a house, I do not have a bunch of house projects backing
Well,
up because if you never remodel your house,
You just don't do it.
it stays suspended in time. I am living in 05. My entire house is 05, except for the floors.
Yeah.
But my entire house, if you look at it, it's still got like the plugins for phones and stuff.
I still have a plug-in for a phone in my house.
I have a regular old suspended in time 05 house.
I painted over those like you can't see them, but you can see them. and then every time I look at them, I'm like, why were you so lazy, you POS? Why didn't you just take it out, replace the drywall, do it right? You just paint it over them like a POS. I get mad at that.
But I go one step further.
Punch a trash can.
I go one step further. I'll remove the old technology, paint around it, then put the old technology back. I might use it. I might use the phone one day. I might use the phone if it comes back.
So, Jackal,
Yes.
you just got back from a business trip.
Are you grumpy? You don't
That's
look
a pain
grumpy.
in the ass.
It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
it was a long trip, yes.
All right,
I'm
give it to me.
fairly sunburned in my face. Yeah.
And your kids are like, Dad, we miss you. Why are you going out working out far away?
No, my kids haven't said they miss me.
Yeah, well, that's bad too.
Well,
Why aren't your kids missing?
I have a teenage daughter and a 10-year-old son, so they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, that's sad, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're away from your wife, and then your wife's probably
That's
like,
right.
what are you doing at that music festival? There's a bunch of whores around.
Yeah.
No,
And
she's used to it by now.
But don't you
in fact,
you have so much opportunity, right? Like,
well, I mean, I guess, but
yeah. All you have to do is trade passes for asses.
I've
heard of
it.
this. Yes, we've heard about this.
Yeah. They do that, by the way.
They do that.
Jackal's wife, whatever listening.
Yeah, they do that.
Passes for asses.
Because all they want to do is get to I don't know. I'm trying to think of
Brandon
some.
Boyd.
Give me a band. Benson.
Zach Brown was the last
Oh,
name.
nobody wants Zach Brown.
Oh, yes, they do.
No,
they
they
do
do.
in Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, he's
there's
slimmed down now, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he like Jack? Zach?
those
He's Zach
are
now.
those are Kentucky Slam Hawks.
I like a Kentucky Slam Hawks. A lot of HPV though in Kentucky. Lots of HPV there.
I mean, it looked like it. It was
Yeah.
very dichotomous. It was either real hot or real
Yeah,
not.
I like a
So,
dichotomous
Jackal,
hippopotamus.
So your life is just as bad as mine is, and everybody out there, all the
And if
dads
it's not, we're
listening.
gonna make you feel that way.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't own a boat. I don't own a boat.
Yeah. But
So-
some would say that you got it better because you can go on Seth's boat. It's better to
Yes.
know a friend with a boat than
Yes.
own a boat.
That's what I've
That
always
makes it
said.
worse.
That's how but he doesn't invite me anymore because he doesn't go on his boat.
I don't have to fix all the tires. That is true.
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's sitting there. Oh, believe me, every day it sits, it just one thing breaks. Like I can hear
it.
I can hear it leaking. I hear it. And there's rats in there. Oh, yeah.
But yes, we all have the equal amount of stress and suckiness. Yeah.
So you're not jovial all the time. You're not clicking your heels at home.
No, I have no joy either.
Raising the roof. Okay,
I
I tell
know.
Crystal, no dads out there have joy. They walk around like, hey, they're super happy. They're bunding it. They're sitting out there like, oh God.
But you I'm trying to think about this because my wife, Andrea, will consistently be like, she takes a different approach. She doesn't force me to or ask me to have joy. She's just like, well, if you're gonna act like that, we're leaving, which is a different play. You know what I mean? At least your family, I feel like, doesn't think you're a lost cause. So they're still trying to get you to do stuff. My family looks at me and they're like, "You're just gonna sit there? Well, fine, we're out."
yeah. Everybody's got different problems. I'm just saying that it's all problems. Not that
they're just different. They're just different.
But I did say I'm gonna work on my joy.
You got to have 1 hour of joy.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you get? And this is a serious
question.
This
is my joy, complaining about my misery.
Okay, I was wondering it because it seems as if the amount of time that I know you've spent on, let's just take two things that I know you spend a lot of time on. Cleaning the garage and irrigation. If we took those two things, the amount of work that you've done on them, it would lead me to believe that you do get joy out of at least tinkering on it, because you could have called anybody that does irrigation and have the entire thing buttoned up in a weekend, right?
But I did it, so I have the ability to do it, and I know how to do it. It's just a pain in the ass.
Right.
So it's the pain in the ass part that's the horrible part. I could throw money at it, but I've been throwing money at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Only so much money.
Yeah, that's true. You will run out. You will run out. I've heard that.
I start looking at you like,
Andrea
okay,
told me
that. I got to fix this myself. Get off my lazy ass, because that will make me mad too. Not working hard.
That's kind of my point, is if you didn't do it, then I think the idea of doing the irrigation fills a void, right?
But
fills part of your cup, as my wife says. That's her new favorite thing to say. She's like, "What fills your cup?" And I'm like, that's, first of all, the first thing I think of when you say fill the cup, I think of two girls, one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a gross person. So when you say what fills your cup, I'm like, I know the white stuff.
And then it breaks.
Yeah.
Then it's real bad.
Yeah, there you go, the ER.
Then my plant broke. I was trying to repot, and 5 years of work that I was training this plant. It was a gigantic showpiece.
What were you training it to do?
Well, I'd move it as it grew up this vine.
What kind of plant?
It was like a vining philodendron. It was like the one that Gabriella gave me a while ago.
Yeah,
and
nice.
And then I was moving it. It was heavy. Basically it was two individual pots. No one cares about this, I understand. And then it fell over.
But you care about it.
And then it snapped the bottoms. It is like 5 years of nothing.
Did you scream? Or are you just
I punched the trash can.
That's where the trash can. That was the trash can.
And then I had to cut it up. I'm trying to propagate it. I'm trying to teach my sons how to start a business they don't want to do. No one wants to do nothing. Anyway.
Come in here. Start this plant business you don't want to do.
Listen, a lot of people have it way worse. I'm complaining about plants and stupid outdoor TVs.
You get joy in your work, man. A lot of people don't have that. I get a little joy out of my work, too. You guys got to get some joy out of your work.
We did.
Yeah.
Years ago.
I feel like when we started doing this that it was joyful, but I feel like now it's the equivalent of snapping the bottom of your plant off every morning and then punching the trash can for the rest of the day.
No, it's fine. Home. I'm sure that a lot of people have, because throughout your life is a bunch of work, right? I was telling my sons this the other day. They're like, we hate school.
Okay, all right, off to a good start.
And then I was like, well, you only have to do it for a small amount of time, and then wait till you see how much you hate work. I was like, you'll be missing school.
You're really selling the sizzle of life to the boys.
Although I will tell you that I myself liked work more than school. School, I definitely did not enjoy at all. Like, I never went to school and enjoyed it. Most of the time I was in school, I was thinking to myself, I'm learning something I'm never going to use. And this is all just some ridiculous money scheme, especially in UCF.
It's crazy that, I was thinking of like you as an elementary school thinking that.
Yeah. No.
I was like, wow, this guy. But yeah, like I loved school. I was a good student, but I don't know why. I have no idea why I enjoyed it, but I always did enjoy it. And Maisie got that too. Maisie's very much like her mom. Like, she enjoys going to school. It's like her thing.
A lot of times, especially in college, I was like, I'm in music history. I'm paying $500 for music history. I'm learning about classical music history. Like, this is a business I'm never going to be in. At this time, you can't even argue that, like, oh, you need to learn this because it teaches your mind how to learn. Yeah. Like, this is way past that. I'm already poisoning my mind by drinking every night in college. So anything that is going to help my mind, I'm doing, way worse to it.
I remember realizing, that would have been about the time that I realized that this was like a game. Like my dad had told me that early on, and I did enjoy school, but when I got to college, I realized that they were like charging me for classes I'd already taken, making me retake stuff, and I'm like, well, and it was just like, it did sour me, which is why I ended up dropping out and then having to go back 19 years later to finish.
Welcome to my whole life story and my time at Full Sail.
Is that what you did?
UCF, then Valencia, then Full Sail. And I took music history at Valencia and dropped out.
That's what you do.
You're a musician.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Let's talk about my horrible Steelers theory that I've been yelling at you guys the whole time before the season started. Now they're 3-0.
Yeah, they look pretty good for Justin Fields. Couldn't do nothing in Chicago. Then we had the narrative of there'll be a distraction because of old Russell Wilson. Justin Fields. Where is Russell Wilson? Like, they just pushed him into a closet, right? They're just like, bye, and then they pushed him away, and then like, get to work, Justin Fields.
Yeah. It seems like all like the beginning signs of like, oh, this is going poorly, and then all of a sudden,
all right now.
Oh, Russell Wilson is just anyway. So then that I'm way too leveraged on that bet, so I'm just gonna be watching. I'm guessing it lose the rest of the season, or it's probably going to be close. I bet Captain Boy a bunch of money too. The Dolphins would have a better record than the Steelers.
Yeah, that's rough right now.
That's going to lose. Anyway,
what's the latest on Tua? So he had his concussion protocol. They put him
on IR
for 4 games, or
it's essentially them. They're waiting till the public like eases up on the pressure of like them to like have Tua retire,
so we can put him back in there, let him.
And the NFL
work.
Doesn't like, they're nervous because they're like, man, if this happens again, it looks so bad. Like the NFL, like they're so big that they're like, even though this guy's career and the Dolphins like could suffer, like maybe it's a better idea to not have him ever play again. I'm guessing. Although that's what I said about Damar Hamlin. I'm done with theories. And by the way,
that's what people wanted to hear.
This is part of my bringing joy back to my life. I think I'm going to step back on the NFL, not pay attention to it, get rid of it as a hobby because I am too invested into it. And then I started getting money, and then I'm like, oh, I could beat this. I could outthink it. And that's stupid to think.
But
like, of course you can't.
It's also stressing you out, too, right?
If
you lose it, that's not fun. I get it.
He loves the losing.
No, I don't love it.
No, he doesn't.
You do.
No,
but I think you enjoyed the work put in, and then making a good bet, and then seeing the value on the opposite side.
No.
But it's few and far between.
Yeah. I need to start doing something that I know the outcome is,
beneficial for you.
80% turn out well. Like I'm working on 51% margins here,
right?
Or 52, but it's like such small. Like at that time, okay, well you're losing 48% of the time. Like that's fun for you. Like I'm starting talking to myself. Like this is stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's talk about. Let's do a little bit about. I went out to the Jim Colbert show. Did their dog event out in Mount Dora, and I always get these dog events names wrong because they're all a variation of dog suds, pups, pints, and puppies with dogs and suds and beers. With suds and dogs.
Yeah.
With a couch, suds, beer, dog.
Yeah.
And so I went out to that. There were hundreds of dogs there, thousands even, and I realized that I have to get Dansby into some sort of training because he is a wild man. He's wild. He's out of control. I've ruined him. I've ruined the dog. Andrea put her.
What is he doing?
He will, if he sees a dog or a human, if it's somebody that he wants them to know about him or get his attention, he'll lose his crap and just start barking at them. But it's a very aggressive bark.
Okay.
Now,
Lena used to do that.
Is he going to be aggressive to the person? No, absolutely not. He's not. But it's almost like he can't communicate right. It's almost like his way of communicating is screwed up.
He's yapping.
He's chirping.
Yeah,
he's chirping
yeah,
like his
yeah.
dad. He's chirping.
Or
He's chirping.
He learned it from watching you.
He did learn it from me.
He
did learn it from me. And I talk to him all the time. Maybe I should just shut up. But I went out to Jimmy's event, also sponsored in part by Daryl Payne from Perfection Dog Training. Here's their card. And I met Daryl.
Oh, I like that payola right there.
I've known Daryl for a very long time, and
learned that from watching me.
I did, and he did the Tom. I walked up to him, and he's like, "Hello." First thing he made fun of my dog, because he's British. He made fun of my dog being Scottish. He's like, "Well, there's your problem, mate." You know, like one of those. You know, like, and they had some. We shared a good get the Scottish. We got this. We kind of. We gave the Scottish the what for.
Okay,
real hard.
I never understand the relationship between
different islands.
The British and the Scottish.
Yeah.
And the Irish. I'm like, do y'all like each other?
Yeah. A lot of busting balls. A lot of ball busting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he's like, I'll put you on the special plan for the special guys, the Tom. And I was like, okay, you don't have to do that, but I'm okay with that. I'll gladly talk about you on the show.
Yeah.
And I got to get him into something, though, because I've always wanted the kind of dog where I could just, like, I hate those people, but I also love those people. I admire them. The people that can take their dog anywhere and their dog's just, like, kind of standing next to them.
Yes. That's because they do take their dog everywhere.
Yeah, but, like, I try to take my dog everywhere. He just goes crazy, though.
Yeah,
Or
same.
It's not working.
I think those are like trained service animals.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to do.
I don't think you could take. I think those when you have a service animal, isn't there like a whole? Aren't they born and like trained like the Unsullied from birth?
Oh, yeah, like they're in that environment.
Like you already screwed it up. I think at this point,
I do
life's
so
been
many
too soft.
things bad. He's like sleeping in my bed. He sleeps on my head at night.
Yeah.
Like anytime he says a word, I'm like, "What do you need?"
Yeah, you got an at-home dog, and that's fine. You don't have like an airport dog.
I want to get him to do. So he's lost. All things lost. I can't add some.
The problem is you're going to ruin your at-home dog.
That's right.
And so you want.
So you're saying Daryl's going to come in because he says he's going to come to the house and he's going to see what I do and observe all of the horrible things I do to my dog. Not bad things, just meaning I let him get away with I let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I have structure in my daughter Maisie, so I let my dog be wild.
Yeah. You're spoiling your pee-pee dog.
Yes.
That's what every old man does.
Yes.
You are falling into but that's what you're supposed to do. You have to get out. Don't worry about him barking at everybody and all that stuff, and just let it go.
Okay.
And then it doesn't matter. Like he's not going to bite anybody.
No, he's not going to bite anything, but he's annoying. He's he'll be jumping on you all the time. He's like begging, like, come on, play with me.
I like the idea of Daniel just ignoring the dog. Just constantly
scream
barking at everyone all the time.
But that's the thing is, I don't think I'm going to be able to do what Daryl is going to want me to do. Like he's gonna set down some, like, you might be right. He's gonna set down some like very adamant boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't do this, and I'll be like, no. I know better than.
When you go to Seth Petrozelli and you're like, hey, Seth, I want to look like you. What does it take? You don't want to know what it takes.
Yeah,
you don't want to do what it takes.
I've read the PDF document.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, this is insane. What it takes to do this and live this life.
I don't even know what almond flour is. What is almond flour?
Yeah. It's not worth it.
No.
So just enjoy. Don't take it out to dog events and all that stuff.
He did good there though.
But then
around the dog event, here's the thing. If he's with us, he'll lose his crap and just act like a wild man. But around the dog events, he's the greatest dog. Like he's meeting all the dogs, no barking, nothing.
Well, then you're right. It's your fault.
I know it's my fault. I know it's my fault.
Well, then what's the problem? Is it
because Daryl might tell me I can't sleep with my dog anymore, and I hold him like a stuffed animal all night. Like I literally hold him.
Well, what's the problem
know.
for you as far as his behavior? Is just he's barking? Like he's fine at the event, you said, right?
He's fine at the event. No, if he sees somebody, like if he saw Jackal. Like, if we were sitting in here and he saw Jackal outside or something, he would just start losing it. Like, get in here. Like, get in here.
Come and pet me.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do some
stuff. But it's unstoppable. Like, you can't, there's no, like, he'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, listen, I'm the worst person to ask because I grew up with all undisciplined dogs.
Okay.
With still, I go to my mom's house, and then while I'm talking to my mom, both dogs are just scratching my legs to the point where
I just have
to sit there, and they're scratching, and my mom's like, get down. get down. And that happens for a good 35 minutes straight.
Okay.
Of her just screaming, get down, and the dog just scratching my legs until I leave, and my legs are just annihilated, scratched the whole time. And I just do that over and over. And then her old dog, I remember used to like when I was a kid, or younger, used to chase me around the house, try to bite me, and then through my whole life, the dog, we had to throw hot dogs because
did you throw him down a hallway? You had to throw him down a hallway.
So
I had to throw hot dogs down a hallway to get away from my dogs.
I just grew up with undisciplined dogs. Lena was undisciplined, bit your dog, bit my niece's face.
I forgot about it. Bit
tons of people. Yeah. Run, just take off.
Well,
running
I don't want that. I'm
going to
try.
Swamp.
And Andrea kind of put her foot down.
Don't try.
No, I have to because Andrea's getting kind of mad. I give him a lot of rope. But I'm gonna. So I did sign up. It will be. I'll report back on the show and tell you guys how he's doing. I guess I'm gonna have to go out there on some Saturdays and be part of a group class. We'll see how that goes.
He's gonna come to your house and he's gonna look at your dog for like 5 seconds and snap his fingers one time, and the dog's gonna act perfect, and then you're just gonna be like, oh man.
I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that.
I
would be okay with that.
Here's what's gonna happen, and this is the worst case scenario. Is that
I love worst case scenarios.
I'm complaining. Like I complain a lot about what I want my sons to be, right? And what I want them to do, like a work ethic, hard work. They get out there, this morning.
The chat room was talking about the irony of you working in the mud all weekend while your son doesn't want to do the mud walk. And I'm like, that is interesting. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even put two and two together. The chat room, they follow the stories that we do, and they're like, wow, that's so crazy.
So anyway, I forgot what the hell was I going to say.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
After the weekend, too, it's like my thoughts just bounce all around like a magical bouncing ball.
So, anyway, that's, I can't remember.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
No.
This is why he doesn't pay attention to the chat room.
I know. Yeah. And this is
throws me.
This is why people that interrupt you all the time may kill your thoughts, This is how you break up a show. You interrupt this guy enough, and you're killing all of his thoughts.
That's why I come here.
You were talking about grit with your sons. You were talking about you complain a lot.
Oh!
There we go.
We're
on.
You got it.
So whatever I am doing, and then let's say I have like a dog or a human trainer that's a professional, Dr. Phil. Okay. He knows about kids.
Dr. Phil.
Catch me outside. He does it. So then I'm like, Dr. Phil comes, and then he's like, all right, he observes. He's like, how can I fix this problem? What's wrong, whatever. And then
I think I can do this right here with your dog.
There's going to be a point where he looks at me, and he's like, you're the problem.
I think I found the problem and it's you.
Yeah.
You are the problem with the mud hole. You are the problem with kicking the trash can.
So you are the problem with your pets. You are the problem with your kids. Whatever the problem is, it's you.
But we always do that.
Taylor Swift said it.
Yeah. You and I always look back, though, right? We're pretty reflective.
Yeah, but that's the problem is that they're going to say you have to change what you're doing. That's a lot of work. Do you want this guy to tell you a bunch of work?
I do, yeah.
You
do?
I
got to get the dog right, yeah. It's too much, man. Because he'll do it in the car. He'll see something through through the window, and the windows will be up, and he'll just start losing it, and it is so loud. It's bad. And it's something I've done. Like, I've babied him to the point where now, he has to be by my side. He's super needy. I spoiled him up. I spoiled him up good.
Yeah. So, that's, but then you have to change your behavior.
I'm going to have to.
So that's what sucks, bringing in a professional. They just tell you, you're like, how can I lose weight? I don't want to hear the answer. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
I need
Maybe there's
magic.
Ozempic for dog behavior,
Yeah.
You just shoot it in me.
The shortcut.
Yeah. I need the shortcut.
Have you seen Kathy Bates? The new Matlock. She lost Ozempic.
I have not seen. What is the whole the twist on the new Matlock? Why is everybody talking about that? Did we need a new Matlock?
I don't think so.
No. And whoever's watching it, I mean, you have to ask yourself.
A lot of people are watching it. It's all over my feed, man.
How boring did your life turn out where you're catching the new Matlock on a network channel? Like, they can't even curse or do anything spicy at all.
Just on TV.
I enjoyed
with
regular...
commercials.
Some old lady Kathy Bates.
I liked regular Matlock. And also, Kathy Bates, I can never think of Kathy Bates the same after I remember the hubbub about her appearing in a movie in a hot tub scene with her boobs out.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. And this is when she was relatively older. Also, when she was on The Office as the new owner of the paper company.
Yeah. But
She
it was a
rubbed me
printer company, yeah.
Yeah. She rubbed me the wrong way on that. I didn't like her and her dogs. I didn't like her dogs. It ties right in.
But she's playing the stereotypical Southern company owner.
Yeah.
Did a great job, by the way.
Yeah, she's a
that
great
character exists. I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah, that's a real person.
Yeah. And the other bosses too. Like they do a good job they did portraying what the stereotypical CEO and higher level bosses acted like. Like it was pretty spot on.
One of my favorites was when old what's his name did the juggling.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Yeah. He was one of my favorite bosses because that guy exists too.
He's the best.
Well,
and yes, that guy does exist.
Yeah, the guy that everybody likes. It's like he has like a strange amount of like, hey, we're gonna do it this way because it's more creative. I love those guys. We grew up with a lot of those type of people, at Clear Channel actually. Or I grew up in broadcasting. I grew up with many, many different types of bosses like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because being a manager of people is
Terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's horrible.
although there's got to be some industry where it's easier to be a manager. Like maybe there's a BDM that works as a engineer. I was talking to him like the other day, and like I bet with managing engineers, maybe they're all probably on the spectrum D-heads. So I don't know.
No, Andrea does a little bit of that, where it's not necessarily a management position because she's not in charge of them, but she helps organize what they do. And she actually says it's pretty easy because they're like you just give them what they're supposed to do, and they're going to manage themselves almost. They know what they have deadlines that they have to get done.
Yeah, but you got to be careful. If you make it too easy, then your boss is like, wait a minute, you're not doing much at all.
Right.
Yeah, you almost have to portray that you're doing a lot more. If these guys manage themselves, like you can't say that out loud. Because they'll be like, well, your position isn't needed, right? That's how companies work.
Yeah. I get that.
So you just have to make up what you're doing.
Do you have a manager with what you do?
I mean, I'm a freelancer, so I manage myself in a lot of ways. But at the job that I just came from, yes. And the managers, the production managers of a big festival like that, oh my God, you've never seen somebody who's got more of a 1,000-yard stare than a music festival producer. Oh my God! The people who run that. Yeah, it's insane. You get 2 hours of sleep a night, and like you're just on all day long. It's like this. They're all like this by the end of it.
Yeah, because you're shell shocked. Because everything's a problem. Everything ends up being a problem.
Yes.
There's some sort of permits here. There's a guy the electrician didn't show up here.
This band didn't get their right stuff in their dressing room. The backline guy refuses to get rid of his gun before he comes onto the campus of the festival.
I need my gun.
I heard it on the radio at the one I just came from.
Then the scaffolding union is in the parking lot. And they're like, what the hell? We didn't get to work. They're like, I'm not moving until something happens in their union. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, they didn't pay for the such and such. So we're doing
the porta potty people didn't show up till 7 a.m. this morning.
The scaffolding union, he's down there and saying, my guys aren't working until there's a proper facilities here.
Not to do like an impromptu weird job, but what exactly is your job title?
My job this job that I just came from is an extremely weird job. So I am the RF coordinator for major festivals.
Okay.
So like what I do is I talk to the bands and the band's management and find what they are using as far as like wireless equipment.
Sure.
And then make sure that it all conforms to.
I thought that's what you meant by RF, and I'm like, that sounds like a lot of things that could break.
So there's, say there's like 50 bands at the festival and 3/4 of them are using RF, and you have to make sure that nobody steps on anybody else.
Are you doing 100 different signals?
I'll try more like 300.
300 signals?
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that they don't step on each other.
Yeah. And you have to, and not only that, but you have to there's a lot of people skills involved too, because you have to deal with all the different bands, and them all thinking that in a big festival that you know, the last half of the day is all really headliners in their own right. So they're all used to like having their way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And they're all trying to make it perfect for themselves, and it's like,
but there's
well,
only
you can't
so
have
many.
perfection.
Yeah, there's only so many frequencies.
We're gonna have to share. We're all gonna have to be cool, bro. You know?
Because
that's cool.
Normally when they're doing tours or whatever, everything's set to their
That's right.
specifications, and now they have to like, you know, not get the lighting they want because Zach Brown is like, I look horrible in pink lights.
I'm brown. I have brown lights. I'm Zach Brown.
That's right.
Yeah. So listen, everybody's got it
Now,
tough.
when you're doing this, do you dress like do you have to wear like a uniform or like a polo?
No.
Or can you, when you like, let's say you're working the Zach Brown concert, can you wear a big flat Zach Brown style hat?
100%.
And look cool?
100%.
I want one of those hats.
In fact, one of the like production crew at the one that I just came from is probably the coolest man in the entire world. He's a tall, older white guy, silver long hair, silver long beard, always wears black, looks like half cowboy, half rock star.
Okay.
And he just drives around in the golf cart with one foot hanging out of the golf cart, like never turns it off, never locks it, just gets out and lets it roll to a stop while he's telling where all the tour buses need to park. He goes and tells the guy, no, get rid of your damn gun. Put your gun away right now. We're not going to have any of it.
You did not just describe the coolest man in the world.
If you saw him, you would say.
I could see Tom. You were losing Tom on coolest man.
Yeah. I was waiting for it. I was like, yeah. I mean, it may be close, but
like Willie Nelson.
Yeah. Willie Nelson, cooler. Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
91 old man. Not even because he's so old, he can't be that cool. You have to be a little bit old, like Whistler from Blade.
That's what this guy's like. If Whistler was combined with a rock star, that's what this guy's like.
And how long has he been doing his job?
Oh, ages and ages and ages. He's on a television show about there's a television show called Roadies. He's on the television show.
Oh, all right.
Whistler made weapons for a vampire.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This guy carries around a 9-inch Bowie knife on his hip.
But that's not needed. That's not needed.
No,
how old is this old man?
I would guess he's in his 60s.
Yeah, okay, see. Oh, man, I hate looking at an old man carrying the wrong weapon. You see that sometimes? You'll see that. You'll see, oh, that old man's got a sword. He's going to fall over and hurt himself. All right, we got to get out of here, buddy, or take a break at least.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
All righty. I'm having a hard time getting my engine running. Thank you for sitting in, buddy.
Thank you.
Where's that go? Monday 1 and 2.
It is an interesting job.
Are we going off?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll come back on the BDM show.
We'll see you guys over on Facebook. We do have, I think,
Twitch.
Tony Munget coming in.